All right, guys, welcome to another edition of the Slideshow Show, or a Slideshow Show. I am Slideshow Mel, joined by Slideshow Bob.
Yeah.
I'm Chris, that's Dan, and last time, Dan showed me some fun pictures. This time, I'm going to show Dan some pictures.
Actually, it's German for the Bart. The.
Well, nobody who speaks German could be an evil man. Dan, you are a big gamer. Very familiar with...
Hey, I've lost some weight in the last year.
But you're big on gaming. You're our main Twitch streamer on twitch.tv/CKCC online. So what I've done, I pulled up a list of the best-selling video game franchises of all time.
Oh, here we go.
And we're going to count them down from number 20 to number 1. And you can go ahead and appropriately react to if you've participated in the franchise. Maybe if you have a favorite game, we can just have a discussion about them. What do you think? Ready to do some franchises?
No.
Are you Shane Douglas? Are you the franchise?
Cut the fucking music.
And let us know what you guys think of the concept of this show. And we'll do more of these and show more pictures to people. All right, so let's start off the list.
NBA 2K. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to be playing as soon as we're done doing the show.
There you go. And again, you can check that out on Twitch. How long has the NBA 2K franchise been around?
Since 2K.
So, like, yeah.
So they're on their 21st game with 2K20.
That's crazy.
NBA Live has been around longer, but they have had a very rough last 7-8 years.
Well, this is the basketball franchise that made it to the list. One of the top. It is the top basketball franchise. Which one are you going to be playing? Are you going to be playing the newest one, 2020?
Yeah, 2K20, because it was free.
Awesome.
For PlayStation Plus people this month.
Who are you going to be playing as? Who's your team?
I am playing as the Chicago Bulls right now, because I'm trying to make it so they make the playoffs, because they suck.
There you go.
I have 4 games left in the season, and they are 1 game behind the Orlando Magic for the last spot in the playoffs.
Oh, damn. Well, good luck. All right.
I don't need it.
Here's your next franchise.
Oh, just Lego overall. Okay. Yeah, they're like all good games, bro.
They're really fun. They're really clever. They are.
So I played quite a bit of them, but
they're like perfect parodies too. That's the thing. I've done the Star Wars games. I've played the Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter ones. Those are a ton of fun. Because you can do all the swaps and everything. They get all the music and sound effects from the franchise, which I always thought made it look really funny. And also, there's like a lot of parts that are super realistic backgrounds with just Lego characters running around.
They're also relatively easy to get a platinum in.
Relatively. There's a little bit of grinding involved, but...
Oh yeah, there's a grindage, but it's not difficult.
They're fun, though. They're a ton of fun. The Lego franchise.
So we got Ninjago there, and then...
Yeah.
Jurassic World, Star Wars, and Marvel.
Well, I was going to say,
this is
speaking of...
OG Battlefront 2?
Yes. Specifically, Star Wars. Star Wars as a game franchise as a whole.
Oh, just Star Wars as a whole. Okay, yeah, I would imagine.
What's crazy is...
most of my Star Wars knowledge comes from video games, actually.
So I should do the copies too. NBA 2K was 90 mil. Lego's 100. Star Wars is 100.371 million copies. But
of different games.
But you also have to remember, Star Wars goes back to the Atari days. Like, there were totally Atari Star Wars games. So what Star Wars games have you played that you were a big fan of?
Well, Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. That one I played the fuck out of. Played Battlefront. I have Battlefront 2, the new Battlefront 2, where it came out and it was fuck awful with all the bullshit, and then they finally fixed it and it's fucking great. And I played some of the original Jedi Knight, but didn't get too far.
I love the Super Star Wars games. Those are a blast. They're really hard, but they're fun. Rogue Squadron, those games were great. I never played TIE Fighter, though, but I have a feeling I would have loved it.
And then there's like a bunch of TIE Fighter games, and there's X-Wing games, and there's X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Did you play, what's the Apprentice games series?
Oh, the
Star
Force
Killer.
Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
Yes, I played both of those. There's all kinds of stuff. I remember episode 1 stuff. I officially declared episode 1 went merchandise went too far when they made a fucking Gungan game. It was like episode 1 Gungan Frontiers, and it was like an RTS.
Oh God.
Where you were the Gungans. I was like, okay, Eraser was a bit iffy, but now we got fucking Gungans. Yeah. There was a Django Fett game that was pretty cool. Oh, there was the Clone Wars game where you were like in vehicles most of the time, and then you got out every once in a while.
Shadows of the Empire.
I played that a lot.
Shadows of the Empire was fantastic.
Dash Rendar, who is canon, because his ship is at Mos Eisley.
Yep. Yeah, those games were fun. I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out. It's like the successor to the Rogue Squadron games.
Oh yeah, I'm not good at flight stuff, especially space flight stuff. Because like even like playing Battlefront. Sorry, I am awful at the space combat.
Those are actually my favorite missions.
I'm just fuck awful.
All right. The next franchise, before we get to it, sold 100.5 million copies.
Resident Evil. I've played a couple of them. I got about halfway through 4. I got to the very end of 5, but could not fucking beat that sumbitch.
They're good. They're one of the best horror survival games.
It's crazy.
And there's so many different branching storylines that came out of it, too.
And there's a new one coming out that was announced when they did the PlayStation announcement. It was super cool because at first you're just like, oh, what is this? And then it's like, oh, and there's like werewolves and shit. And then it ends and it just says village. And then it like slowly rotted away and it's VILL for 8.
You're just like,
God damn it. It's like Resident Evil. And they're like, yeah. Resident Evil 8.
Well, goddamn, son. All right, we're going to go to your next franchise, which sold 101.83 million copies.
Whoa, God. Princess Zorldo.
A franchise I know you have no history with.
And Lonk. No, everyone's hyped for the new game because there's one, maybe 2 a generation, right? So everyone's always ready for it.
Right, because the NES had 2 games. Game Boy had a couple, but Super Nintendo only had the one. 64 had 2 of them. GameCube had 2. but Twilight Princess was GameCube and Wii. And then, so, like, GameCube's exclusive at first was Wind Waker, and then the Wii's exclusive was Skyward Sword. But then Wii U came out, and that ported stuff, too. And eventually, when the Switch came out, they're like, well, screw it. We're going to release the new Zelda game as a launch title. And it's one of the best. I have played a decent number of Zelda games, but I have not played all of them.
Well, you gotta catch them all.
Like I've never played the DS versions or the Game Boy Advance games, which is
you gotta do the one where there's four of them and they can stack on top of each other.
Yeah, Four Sword Adventures.
Like kobolds or goblins, a goblin stack.
Yeah, but I didn't have the peripherals for that because you needed a bunch of Game Boy Advances and a GameCube.
Well, get on that.
All right, this next one is a Konami game. 107.4 million copies sold.
Oh, Konami, so it's Pro Evolution Soccer winning 11.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I'm more of a FIFA guy, personally.
I have never played a Pro Evolution Soccer game, so I have no opinions on them.
Apparently, the more serial players play PES instead of FIFA, and your more filthy casual plays the FIFA. I think it's just crazy that these games, because since soccer is like so international, and like every country has like 3 leagues, so you technically can play as like 100 different leagues, all with like 20 to 30 teams. It's crazy. Whereas over here, it's like, it's your Major League Baseball game. You can play as one of 30 teams.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's just like over here, you can play as 500 different teams. Whoever the fuck you want. Where like in those other games, that like the opening screen has like the logo of all the teams. Fucking these games come up and it's the logo of all the leagues. You want to play as some team in the Bundesliga? Go right ahead.
Are you a USA team when you play soccer games, or do you go international?
I usually end up playing as Arsenal. Because it's just what they have going on over there is so much more enjoyable, and there's more to it than over here.
Gotcha.
So over here, they just play each other for a bit, and then there's like a tournament at the end. Where over there, they have like 5 different leagues happening all at the same time. So you can be in the British Premier League, but you're also competing in the Champions League, and you're also competing in like 3 other tournaments at the same time. And it's crazy because it's all at the same time. So like your game today could be in your main league, but like in 2 days you have another game, and it's for like a different tournament altogether.
That is nuts.
It's crazy.
It sounds like fun though.
But it's great.
All right, you ready for your next franchise?
Yes. So we're gonna do Madden because they've been the only game in town for
130 million.
Yeah.
By the way, I actually have played a couple of newer Madden games. They are fun.
They are fun.
But I still think that Tecmo Super Bowl on NES is the most fun football game ever made. But yeah, they're a good time.
I can play Madden 20 right now because I got it with the EA access.
Who is your go-to team in Madden?
I play as Carolina Panthers.
Gotcha.
My usual go-to team in NBA is the Charlotte Hornets, but I decided to do this Bulls thing right now. But yeah, I play as Carolina. But I make me some trades, boy.
So we went from football to American football.
Yeah, we did.
All right, another franchise coming your way.
Assassin's Creed. I've played most of them. Actually, maybe not at this point. I played OG Assassin's Creed because that's when I was working at GameStop. Oh, it was great because it was in December or whatever. And so, like, at GameStop, you can just like borrow a used game for a couple of days,
Nice.
but we got snowed out, so I ended up having the game for like 3 weeks in like November, December of 07. Because I just couldn't get back to the store. The store wasn't open. We had a bunch of snowstorms happen, so I ended up having that game for like 3 weeks.
That's awesome. I have never played an Assassin's Creed game, but I am familiar with them. They seem like they're a really good time.
And then 2 came out, and it was just everything was just better than the previous one. Now the last 2 have been completely different games.
140 million copies were sold.
Ubisoft.
And Ubisoft Montreal was the original developer. Well, speaking of OG, you ready for a real OG franchise?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
140 million.
I guess most of these copies were sold in the 1990s. Because he's had approximately 2 good games since then.
Well, there were the 3 Sega titles, which were popular. The Game Gear games were kind of shitty.
Buddy, you're not thinking about Sonic Spinball or Sonic 3D Blast.
Yeah.
Or Sonic CD.
Yeah, what was that really shitty racing game? Like Sonic R?
Oh, I don't know, because he did the Sonic All-Stars was actually pretty decent. The one that came out like 5-6 years ago, or whatever.
What was the what was the Mario Party ripoff that was terrible?
Oh yeah, that one was awful. I don't even know what it's called.
And then when it came out on the 360 as just Sonic 06.
Oh, that was awful. That's the one where he like almost fucks a human girl.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And it's just a bad game, and then it has the awful story too.
And there's Shadow the Hedgehog on the GameCube, where Shadow's got a gun. Makes sense.
He's edgy. He's an edgelord.
Well, Sonic R may have been a shitty racing game, but our next game is not.
There's sweet Gran Turismo.
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed.
150 million.
Oh man, I mean they have a ton of games, right? They would release a new Need for Speed like every other year, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
There's been some really good ones. On most of the time, like I'm kind of ho hum on Need for Speed, but like the Underground games, the 2 Undergrounds and the PS2 era, I enjoyed those. But otherwise, Need for Speed's kind of not my speed. Talk about Final Fantasy as a franchise overall.
Yep.
Yeah, I would imagine.
This is more of a Glenn thing, but...
Look at those materia slots in the Buster Sword.
That's so crazy. The detail they put into these games now.
Of course, this is a remake. This is a remake art, right? So... I have beaten 1 Final Fantasy game.
154.5 million.
And that was 15. Is the only one I've beaten.
I played X and X2. And I enjoyed those.
I have played most of them, but only ever beat 15.
And I do own a copy of 3, aka 6, for the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
All right, well, we're getting out of the ones now. The next franchise and up, we're getting into the 200 million territory. You ready?
Oh, shit. Minecraft.
Which I've never played.
Me neither. It kind of hurts my eyes.
I like that I do like that the sun is just a big-ass square.
Yep.
I mean, the pixelation style I understand because it makes it makes the creative stuff work out really well. Like what you can create. But I don't know. It's never appealed to me personally.
And just know the guy that created this sold it to Microsoft and got enough money that he outbid Jay-Z and Beyonce on a house.
There you go. Well, think about what 200 million copies would equal money-wise.
Notch out freaking bid Jay-Z and Beyonce on a house. Oh my god.
What's also crazy is this is one of the newest franchises that made the cut. And really,
it's not like there's like 12 games in the franchise. There's like the one. And then now there's like some adventure game, right?
Is there like a mobile game too?
I mean, like maybe like different versions of it, but right, like there's just the main game. But now there's a couple other ones. Okay, someone like didn't Telltale make like a game?
I think so.
Minecraft story mode or whatever.
Yeah, I think they did.
But by that time, it wasn't. It was Microsoft that owned it at that point. It's crazy.
Well, it's super successful in Sweden. Speaking of 200 million, our next franchise has also done that well.
Sims. That's a game you can just lose an entire day to.
Yup. And I know because I have. They're fun, though. They're a good time.
I get my computer later this year. You might see the return.
Yeah, we should bring that show back. We should bring Kayfabe House back.
Kayfabe House.
But we should actually make it like a reality show and like vote people out and then bring in new people, and then the winner will be whichever OG is left at the end.
Well, yeah, because originally Kayfabe House was just you, me, Glenn, Ellis, and Jeff. Because Ellis and Jeff were our go-to replacement.
Right.
Host.
But you can have up to 8 people in the house, so we could do a whole thing. I think we should. That'd be fun. All right. The next one, there's an asterisk on this one, and I'll explain why. 202.57 million.
Just Wii Sports?
It's the Wii simulation games.
Okay.
Now, if you actually break the franchises down in the top list, Wii Sports would have... Let me scroll back. Wii Sports would have actually fallen in between Madden and Pro Evolution Soccer. But I'm like, no, that's not going to give me enough variety. Plus, it's asterisked on the wiki page because it's still a subset of the franchise. So I was like, let's just include all the Wii stuff because I wanted more variety for the list. But yeah, the whole Wii simulation, which is like Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Resort, all that stuff.
Wii Sports Resort.
Wii Sports.
Apparently, this person's trying to get a 300. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at, and they're not doing bad.
They got 2 more rolls, brother.
Never bowled a 300 in real life. Imagine I never will in a video game either. But
my best score in real life is a 149.
Mine's
I've done it twice.
Mine's a 162, and I haven't come close since.
For me, it's just like I did good if I scored over 100. I did bad if I didn't.
All right, we're going to make a huge jump here. We're going to go to 282.4 million. And now you can talk about it.
Ah, it's FIFA. Okay. I was like, damn, Pez is on this, but not FIFA?
Nah, FIFA's there. They're just way higher.
But FIFA's higher because it's more approachable. And Pez is a more European thing. So yeah. This is
6th overall on the list, in case you were curious. We're about to enter the Chase Owens countdown after this.
Oh, are we?
Yep.
There's Neymar Jr.
That's crazy that FIFA is the...
Doing a weird kick there. Well, FIFA, it's soccer, man. It's international. It's the #1 sport worldwide.
It's also been around since '93. They've been releasing FIFA games. Because there's a ton of them on Super Nintendo. Yeah. All right, you ready for the top 5?
Top five, top five, top five, top five.
This one should not surprise you.
This is just the COD overall.
Yep, all Call of Duty. 300 million copies have been sold in that franchise. So
about 1 million of those copies had anybody play single player story mode.
I've never been a Call of Duty guy, but I know you've played a couple games in the franchise.
Yeah, I like playing the single player mode.
All right. You ready for number 4?
Number 4. GTA's number 4, huh?
Yep.
Dang. Okay. I mean, I gotcha.
It's a hugely popular franchise, though. I mean, it's the best open world video game franchise.
Now I'm trying to think what the other two, the top 3 are. Holy crap.
Yeah, so here's old GTA. So, I've started playing at 3 because I didn't own an OG PlayStation. But I've played almost every game since, except for like the stories games and like the mobile games. But I played 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and then of course 4 and 5.
Yep.
And 5,
I have played OG Grand Theft Auto and its expansion, which is based in England in like the 60s.
That's awesome.
I mean, it was the top down. You're looking from like the sky down on the cars and stuff. I played those on PC.
5 is my favorite, but San Andreas was my favorite before that. And it's not just because of the San Andreas location, but I just think that those games had the best storylines. Because San Andreas was the first one that fixed the problems that Vice City had. Even though Vice City was probably the best overall storyline, they still had some mechanics out of whack. San Andreas fixed that. And then when 4 came out, it was just a next-gen Liberty City game. It didn't really do anything overly new. Although I did like Nico Bellic as a character. I had fun with that. But when 5 came out, they enhanced everything with the multiple characters. And of course, Franklin and Trevor alone made the franchise, because those are 2 of my favorite characters. Michael's just meh. Screw Michael. Franklin and Trevor, where it's at.
Well, I mean, Michael is the what do they call it? Like the
he's
like a word for him. He's like the neutral or whatever, right? Like the heroic neutral or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, if you wanted to break that down, yeah, because of course we all know that chaotic neutral would be Trevor.
He might be, yeah, he's chaotic something. And all I gotta say now is, all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
I think that the original San Andreas with that storyline as a remake with the next-gen graphics would be huge. And they could get away with it, too.
Yeah, they've re-released it a few times, but I don't think I think they just like upscaled a little bit. Like if they actually like full on took a couple years working on it.
And I've loved the rumors I've heard about 6 that it's going to be like a married couple, and it's going to take place back in Vice City. That should be a lot of fun. Because
we need to go back to Vice City.
I just hope they make Vice. The only problem I had with the old games is that when you break it down, they're just big-ass islands. I think they should make another focal point where you can't actually get too far. So it's a little more realistic. But my favorite mission in 5 was when you actually went back to North Yankton, but you couldn't explore. I remember the first time I played, I'm like, I'm going to explore, and I drove off the course, and I failed the mission immediately. I was like, God damn it. They knew people were going to want to do that. We need changing seasons. We need different atmospheres. That's what we need in these games. But yeah, number 4. You ready for the top 3?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no shit. They release 2 new games every 4 years or so. And then release a 3rd version. a year later.
There are currently 8 generations of Pokemon out there. Pokemon Go has been hugely successful. Sword and Shield have their issues, but I did like that they did the Let's Go remakes. That were a lot of fun. Them's be childhood nostalgia. All right, Dan, who was your go-to starter?
Fire. Whichever one was Fire.
Pretty much, yeah. There was one generation where I didn't pick the Fire. Well, I didn't actually own the games, but I wouldn't have picked the Fire, and that was Gen 4, which had Chimchar. The water type was Piplup, and Piplup was friggin' awesome. Because it was a little penguin. But it was always Charmander, Cyndaquil. It would have been... Yeah, I would have picked Torchic. Because I didn't care about Trico. Or... Well, Mudkip would have given Torchic some issues, but... I definitely would have...
Like Mudkips.
Yeah. I would have picked T-Pig. And then Gen 6 was X and Y, and I picked the... I did pick the Fennec Fox, and I would have picked the kitty cat that turned into the Wrestling Fire type for Gen 7, which is Incineroar. And when I got Sword and Shield, I picked the bunny. So there you go. God, I used to know everything about Pokemon, and I'm just so behind on it now. I can identify all the Pokemon in this picture by name, but, like, I cannot... I can't do it anymore. There's so many of them that escape me now. And I used to be super Pokeboy. But I fell off after Gen 2 and came back in for the new stuff when Pokemon Go came out, so...
I was technically always, quote-unquote, too old for Pokemon, so...
Yeah. But they're fun.
It was...
Alright, you ready? Oh, I haven't been putting any statistics out there. GTA was 310 million. Pokemon is 362.06 million. And now, for 495 million copies.
Do. How many of those are Game Boy? OG Game Boy.
Well, 70 million physical sales, but for mobile game downloads, 425. So Tetris became number 2 because of the mobile popularity of Tetris. So there you go. The number 1 franchise is would have appeared twice already on the list, but I think everybody knew this was going to be number 1. So, according to sales...
And what are they counting? Are they counting, like, Kart as a separate game or Smash as a separate game? Or?
So, the Kart series made the cut, and so did the Super Mario series, which is the platforming series, made the cut. But if you do Mario as a whole and incorporate Super Mario Kart, Party, Sports, RPG, and others... you get 639.04 million copies sold.
It's called the Mario Tweens.
The Mario RPG is actually the worst selling before you get to other. But again, Mario's been around the longest. It's been around since 1981 with the whole Donkey Kong and everything.
Donkey Kong? When he was just the Jumpman?
He was just the Jumpman. So yeah, Mario is unsurprisingly dominant here. And I, for one, can't wait for the movie.
Notice how Waluigi's in this picture, you cowards.
All he wants to do is play video games with his friends. Toadette's in here too, but you can actually play as her in Mario Maker. You could switch between Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Toadette. Dude, Peach has been in more side-scrolling games than Waluigi.
Waluigi's been in 0.
He's not even a fighter in frickin' Smash Ultimate, but the Piranha Plant is.
I know, that was the whole put Waluigi in Smash, you cowards.
And then they gave us a Piranha Plant. Some people like that, but...
How do you even move? You're in a freaking stuck in the tube, bro.
Well, that's it. What'd you think, Dan?
I thought GTA was closer to number one.
Still pretty high, though. Well, if you guys like this show, give us a like on the YouTube, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get the notifications. And if you've got an idea...
Squad.
And you can catch us out on social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter at CKCC Radio. You can hit us up there and give us suggestions for shows you'd like to see, or just drop them in the comments. If you have a fun theme, you want to have one of us react to stuff, do it. And we're going to get some of our guests on and get some more episodes out. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
See ya.